Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to our season 1, episode 2 listen through. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah. It's wild. I opened the file and I just kind of jumped through it because uh I won't go into it too much, but there were things that happened here that I would have swore happened much later
Hmm.
in the entirety of this first arc, because the first arc is 6 episodes. But some major stuff happens in episode 2. Um Before we get going, there are a couple things I want to share with you all. One is that on, let me make sure I say the date correctly. On July the 5th, we will begin our next Omniverse Chronicles, which will be Crossroads Carnival, ran by Joe. And we're going to do something a little special with that. Part of Crossroads Carnival is that you go around to different towns, and the towns have an issue, and you either feed that issue or you solve that issue. When you do one of those two things, either kind of the redemption happens or you get closer to the apocalypse. And with each of those tracks, for each town that happens at, there are two options you get to choose from. So, of course, we will decide in the gameplay which of those tracks we go down. But then there are two options that we get to pick from for each of those options that you are going to pick for us. We will put up a link at the end of each of those episodes, and you'll have a day or two to go in and vote to decide which of the two things unlocks and affects our story in the next episode and the continuing episode. So that was Joe's idea. I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I'm
Um,
excited. Our fate will literally be in your
yep.
hands.
Yep. And then also, before we get going, I do want to share we got a very cool thing in the mail from Anna the other day. As some of you may know, we do a podcast behind our Patreon that is pirate themed. It is called Perilous Tides. Tass runs it, and we play a pirate crew using the Rapscallion game system. And we received a package in the mail that was filled with pirate goodies, and so I want to share them with you right now. So the first one, I'm trying to decide which order to go. You know, we'll go in this order. I can't decide like what I want to show first. So here's a little. I'm gonna try really hard for this. This is a little chocolate die. It's got our logo on it.
There we go. We got it.
Yeah. And we got two sets of those, one for each person here, and Kim also got some sent to her.
I did.
Uh, Little chocolate skulls,
I
and
love it.
it came with a set of instructions and a story with them. Then we have a little tiny treasure chest, and she made all of these and sent them to us. And then we'll do these. There's also some fossils. I don't know that these will show up as well, but here's some there were some little dinosaur candies. There were some fossils. And then things start to get a little more dangerous
Okay.
because coming from the deep, we do have a chocolate shark.
I love
It's
it.
very hard for me not to shout a specific line when we're dealing with the shark, but I won't because of spoilers. And then lastly, we got this. It is a treasure chest with teeth. And for anybody who is familiar with the show, you know why that is relevant. And there were instructions to crack this open. So I am going to open that up because I want to show what is inside. Oh, I'm so scared to do it.
So you can do it, Rev. I believe in you. He
Oh,
did it.
oh, it is filled with so many chocolate coins. Oh, I'm rich beyond my wildest dreams. There are just tons of chocolate coins inside of it. So thank you very much. Oh, and there's a bit of a spoiler inside.
Yeah, I think if you look around in there.
There's a tongue inside. Why there's a tongue inside? I guess you'll have to listen to the show to find out. Wonderful.
Anna, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to set most of this aside so I don't eat it all throughout the course of this.
You don't know how hard it was for Rev to have this in his house for 2 days and not eat
it. Yep. So we will eat it tomorrow when we convene once more. So let's get down to it, I suppose.
Okay.
There was a little bit of last time we did a little bit of chatter beforehand, but there's not a whole lot to talk about. We've listened to the first episode. For anybody who was not here last time, I would give you a recap, but the benefit of when we joined the Fable and Folly Network is that I had to go back and reprocess all of our old episodes. So I did add in recaps for every episode, which did not exist, I think, until like maybe episode 16 or so. We didn't start doing recaps. So I went back and I made recaps for all of the early episodes that did not originally have them. So here we go.
Before we get started, thank you for the hype train, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of The Critshow. I'm Tass. Before we get into the episode, I just wanted to give you a heads up on our social media. You can now find us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/TheCritShow, on Twitter at The Crit Show, and on Instagram, you guessed it, at The Crit Show. Find us, give us a follow, give us a like, and you can keep up on all the latest info on the podcast, see some behind-the-scenes photos, ask us questions, or just, heckle us in general. As always, you can email us at thecritshowpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, that's enough for me, guys. Enjoy the shenanigans.
So real quick before we get into the recap there, yes, it is strange that Tass is there introducing the episode because when we launched, I believe, 5 episodes. And so we had them all loaded at the time that it dropped so that you got that entire almost first part of the story arc. And so we weren't waiting for each episode to record an intro. I had each person record one intro since we would not be able to do necessarily anything kind of up to date. And then it was, by episode 6 when we started making sure to, for the most part, record intros the week of together so that we could comment on anything that came up. Because there were a couple times where it was like, oh, we recorded this intro a couple weeks ago, it's fine. And then some new piece of information would pop up or change or not be accurate anymore. And so then I would have to last second record a new intro.
That's not our email address.
Welcome to the Crit Show. This is Rev.
What's that?
I said that's not our email address anymore, by the way. Don't email.
True.
Don't email us.
We do still have that email address, but...
Welcome to the Crit Show. This is Rev. I am your GM or your keeper, and around the table we have...
I'm Tass. I'm playing the professional.
I'm Jake, and I play the divine.
And I'm Tej, and I play the mundane.
Hey, Rev.
Yeah.
So I've been thinking, I have a question for you. What happens if one of us dies?
Oh, we have a waiting list of people who want to be on the show.
Oh, okay. So I just don't get to be on anymore. Well, it's been real.
It's
Goodbye,
like a rotating
everybody.
seat.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
okay,
like a special
suppose
guest.
that's fair.
No.
It's
There is a mechanic in the game. And I've actually been thinking about this because that's kind of one of the dangers of you guys playing yourselves is how do you not play yourselves if you were to die? So there is a game mechanic that is essentially resurrection. So I think what we have to do is that if one of you dies, whoever is left alive has to go off on a mission, an adventure.
Pilgrimage.
Yeah, to get whatever pieces, because resurrection is big magic. And so it's going to require like components. And then you'll just suffer the consequences of resurrection. And there's a whole list of them in the book. Basically, you roll and you get whatever consequence kind of comes up.
Do you ever come back more powerful than you could possibly imagine?
Yeah, but if so, you're probably in my control. Probably not under your own control, yeah.
Oh, no.
Like there's bad options.
Oh, God, okay.
And there's okay options. And there are a few options that are like, oh, hey, everything's completely fine.
I am really, really excited to test these
To
on
die.
TJ.
Yeah, right.
So,
All right, TJ, we're gonna kill you and bring you back to life and see what happens.
Yep.
follow-up question.
Yeah.
Is it made any easier by still having the body? Because I like the visual of them having to truck my corpse around in a backpack.
I don't know.
Oh my
In the
god!
trunk
In a
of-
backpack. How many pieces did you die in?
I don't. We
God.
have yet to find
Did
out.
they just break you up like Deadpool and put you in a back
Yeah.
in just various backpacks?
just wheelbarrows.
I just assume it's like a slurry that they made, like in The Simpsons
I'm just in-
Halloween
I'm in
treehouse.
a number of Ziploc bags.
So if things go really badly though, and you do not come back from the resurrection, or you maybe become evil or possessed, that's something we'll have to kind of figure out in the moment. But really the ramifications of death are, and I think all of you have played in a game of mine before, except maybe TJ, but there's always a timer going. So if you guys have to stop to go off on a week-long thing to get something to resurrect one of your buddies, whoever is the antagonist is still going through with their plan, so things will happen while you're gone. Like the world won't pause. So that'll kind of be the ramification on the group. Its fingers get longer and it stabs into your foot. And you realize that this thing can't be more than 7 or 8 inches high. It must have been up on something high when it was looking at you before. And then it pulls its hand out of your foot and hiss at you.
I'm going to hold the gun up, like not pointed at it, but like hand up and then gun pointed at the sky. Whoa, hey, you're a cool looking little dude. I mean you no harm.
As you say that, you see 2 more sets of eyes appear in the dark room. Little puddles of this shadow are dripping off of this figure, and they're kind of popping up into these little doll shapes and running away. They have these little yellow eyes. You can see them running deeper into the theater. And with everyone that comes off, you can see more and more of the person underneath. The shadows start to disperse entirely into a pool around this person. And the figure looks up, and it's me. And I'm breathing heavy, and I am panicked. And I say, TJ, you have to help me. And the shadows reach up, grab me, and pull me back into the darkness. So, Jake, you lunge forward to grab hold of the hammer as it's being pulled away, and you realize that as you're in the air, it's starting to move away faster and faster. You're just able to get your hand through the loop and grab hold of the handle, but it's pulling you. And Tass, you see Jake's feet vanish into the darkness, and then nothing. Jake, you find yourself in the darkness.
I often do.
Feel like you may have been pulled down a set of stairs, but it's so dark that you can't see anything at the moment.
Is my mag light no longer functional?
It's with you. In the panic, you accidentally pushed the button.
I want to push the button again, turn it back on.
So you kick on the light, and you see these couches and old bookshelves and lockers lining the room.
Do I see the stairs?
You do. Once you pan about 180 degrees, you see a set of very old stairs leading up.
Are they still intact, or does it seem like I smashed them on my way down?
They're pretty beat up, but they're not unusable.
I want to call back up the stairs to Tass.
Okay, so yeah, in the darkness, you hear Jake.
Hey!
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Where are you?
I'm in the basement, I think. There's couches and bookshelves and lockers. Seems like a pretty dope hangout spot.
Oh, that's weird. Maybe like a green room. And I'm kind of looking around for what I assume are a drop off or stairs or something.
For a minute, you think you see where the stairs are because there's a light coming through them, and then it goes away.
Oh, hey, put that back. Put that up here.
And as you're kind of talking him down, Jake, you hear some sloshing sounds from around the room.
Oh no. Okay, so once he's got a handle of the stairs, I want to shine the light in the direction of the sloshing noise. Something is down here.
Roll read a bad situation. This is the worst situation. Not really.
Oh, no.
9.
All right, you get hold 1.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
You feel like the sloshing sound is coming from one of the lockers, and you can see as you shine the flashlight towards it, that shadowy kind of goo almost running out of the vents in the locker, like a constant stream.
Oh, God. And he's down here with me now?
Mm-hmm.
I'm shining my light on that, and I'm like, do we do something about this right now?
I don't know what to do about it besides shoot at it. We need to find TJ
Yeah, we
first.
need to find TJ. Can I lean something against that door of the locker, like to try and stop it from opening?
Sure.
One of the bookshelves or something, just something that like I can just tilt.
Something heavy or something you can move easily.
Well, is there anything? Does it have like one of the like handles, like a latch? So like something I could wedge something underneath it.
Are we literally watching this stuff like leak out of that? If I see him starting to look for something to push up against it, I'm going to say, I don't know that much matters if that stuff can just goo out and form into those things. I don't think pinning it shut's going to do much.
Well, at least this way it has to come out as tiny little things.
I guess. I think we need to find Tej, man.
All right, fair. Let's go
You
upstairs.
start to hear more of that sloshing sound around you.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Upstairs.
Okay. Roll act under pressure, both of you.
11.
I'm going to use a move called Bottle It Up. And what that means is, if I want, I can take up to +3 bonus when I act under pressure. And for each one that I use, you get to hold one and use that as a -1 on one of my rolls later.
Oh, I
And
never get to have points.
I know. So you get a point, but it cannot be used on act under pressure against me.
Okay.
So I'm going to use just a +1
Uh-huh.
so that I have a 10.
Good call. So I get a 1 to later put something bad. So yeah, with a 10, you both are able to Laurel and Hardy style run up the stairs, jockeying for position. And where are you headed once you get to the top of the stairs?
Can I try again desperately to look for a damn light switch? Have I already shot that wad last episode? How does that work?
Yeah, roll investigate mystery.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Back into the darkness we go.
I know. Oh, boy.
Nice.
I find every light switch in the theater. I have to.
Yeah,
I
you
have
got to tell me like what you
tell
got.
I got a 12.
Great. So you get a hold 2.
Hold 2. What's being concealed here in the way of lights?
There's a switch right by the door you came in.
Thought there might be.
I mean, it's safety protocol, really.
You don't have to use the other hold now.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to hang on to my second hold, and I'm going to go turn that switch.
All right.
I'm going to turn that switch.
In that second hold, you'll be able to use, since you were investigating kind of the mystery of how the electrics in this building worked, you'll be able to save that hold to use specifically in other places if you need to find out maybe where the power is or how to turn something on, things kind of related to the layout of the electrics in this old building.
Groovy.
So yeah, you flip the lights on and you get some light in this entry hallway. You can see that there is the door that you guys just came through. That room is still dark, but you can see that further down the hall behind you are 2 doors.
Would that be just the way we're facing it towards, like the road is that way? Like
Toward the front door.
Yeah.
You think that it would be towards the center of the theater.
Okay.
Because it's a pretty long hallway.
I
You think
see.
that this might go all the way. This might run the gamut of the building.
Okay, we're going to head that way.
What does gamut mean?
It means a Cajun thief that can charge up items, make them explode.
Is this a reference?
Gambit. Yeah.
Okay.
That joke was a gambit.
It was.
A lot of shoe leather to get there.
Yeah, it was.
TJ, you are
So just a couple things there. I talked last time we listened to episode 1 about how it was kind of a tricky situation having the first creature they encounter's weakness being darkness or being light because it turned into them having to roll investigate a mystery to find light switches, which, if someone is coming to learn the game, I think the most frequent comments that people say, like, I don't understand why they're making someone roll, act under pressure to find a light switch. It's a light switch. And, part of that is because it's the monster's weakness. And part of it, too, is that I wasn't really clearly explaining the idea of, like, the darkness hiding it. Like, in that moment when Tass was successful, I should have said, like, yeah, you're shining your flashlight around and there's some weird movement. And then you see, like, the light switch. So, there were things hiding the light switches from them. And then something else that I was in a bad habit of doing really early on that I've gotten away from now is I would have them, I would call for act under pressure just when I knew something bad was coming for everyone. And so that was, not triggered by their explanation of what was happening. It was me going, okay, you guys are going to go up the stairs. and I don't really say like there's all this stuff down here and it's moving towards you. Roll act under pressure. I just was calling roll act under pressure because I knew it was a dangerous situation. So, have we had any questions or anything?
Let's see. Did you ever consider using roll plus recap for the wordplay instead of let the recap roll?
I did not.
No. Sorry. Velar. And now we have t-shirts that say let the recap roll. So we're in too deep now.
Yeah.
We can't change the catchphrase now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Questions about if Megan plays herself on the show. She does. Oh, there was one really. This isn't a question, but just Bam being very very sensible, saying never touch goo in a green room, which that's fair. Never, please never do that. I really do love that you were also learning to play and getting better during the show. Yeah. Because you touched on last week when we were listening to episode 1 that you really had not played very much Monster of the Week before just diving right into this first
correct
this first show. Yeah.
Yeah, I had played 4 maybe 5 sessions and I had run it. I think this was my 3rd or 4th time. I can't remember.
Yeah. So it's
this episode 2 would have been my 4th or 5th time,
which is amazing to me when like I listened to these early episodes to teach myself how to keep this game, and it's
right.
just your brain is so beautiful. I don't know how you do it. Let's keep going.
Okay.
TJ, you are suspended upside down from the grid in this rope, and this little thing is just kind of watching you swing back and forth. What do you want to try to do?
I want to try and get myself out of this rope trap that I've put myself in.
Why don't you try to act under pressure? You're pretty high in the air. There is this little imp below you.
Sure.
Tracking your movement.
Tracking my movement, you say? Oh, boy. Oh, that actually might not be too bad. 8.
You'll either not be able to get out. It's just you have reverse Houdini'd yourself into this. You'll be able to get out, but you're going to fall, and you think it's going to hurt. Or you'll be able to get out, but it's going to land you right in front of this imp.
So I'm just going to go ahead and get out, but know that I'll be right there in front of that thing.
So you're able to give a couple quick tugs and...
You better not cut that shit. I need that in the final cut.
And get yourself loose. You fall to the ground. You land on both feet. And that little imp is just right there. And it, you can see, is leaning back as if it's getting ready to lunge forward towards you.
A few quick tugs and the reverse Houdini. Moving on.
Ember asks, haven't heard Tija's voice in forever. How is he?
He's good. He's enjoying his time teaching.
Yeah, he was hanging out and chat with us last Saturday when we were listening to episode 1.
He was here for the first episode.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just still.
I'm going to use my panic button
Okay.
to get the heck out of there.
All right, so explain to us what panic button is.
Panic button allows me to escape basically any situation as long as I roll correctly. So when you need to escape, name the route you'll try and roll a 10 or roll a sharp. On a 10 plus, you're out of danger, no problem. On a 7 and 9, you can go or stay, but if you go, it's going to cost you. Either I leave something behind or something comes with me. And on a miss, I'm caught halfway out.
All right, roll it.
Come on, high rolling. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes.
Come on, Snake Eyes.
That would be an 8.
So with an 8, you see clearly that you can run back out into the lobby and out the front door, but you hear that creature in the grid, and as you're trying to make this decision of to run or to stay, you can see that it is making its way towards that door, and if you go that way, you think it's going to go with you. It's going to chase you.
I gotta chance it.
Great. So you start sprinting towards that door, and you hear that creature drop down behind you and start running after you. How far are you going to go? You going into the lobby? You going to try to go out the front door?
I'm gonna go out the front door.
Great. So you hit that front door, you push it open, and you hear the creature stop as you make your way back across the street to the car. I assume you Dukes of Hazzard slide over the hood.
Yeah. Should I roll for that?
Act under pressure, yeah. What did you get?
I got a 4.
Oh, God. Yeah, so as you sprint across, you're like, I'm going to Dukes of Hazzard over this thing. And you get hit by a car because you didn't look both ways.
Oh my God.
And you ragdoll into the air for 1 point of damage.
What an easy experience point that was.
Did you
Strange point.
you leveled up, didn't you?
It was worth it because I just leveled up.
Oh, all right. So let's talk about this because leveling up in this game.
So before we get into TJ leveling up, it's funny listening back because some of these things I had forgotten about. So Tass and TJ, for a while, the three of us were all in an improv troupe together in college, and then for much longer after, they were in an improv troupe together. And so they had a lot of inside jokes with each other. And one of them, and I can't remember the other word off the top of my head, but one of them is that they would always pop their peas in each other's faces when they were talking. So they'd be like, oh, da, 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 da. And like they would make an over-exaggerated thing of it. And it took so long to train that out of them because they would do it into the microphone like unthinking about. They would also do the whipped from like Family Guy.
Yeah.
The whip and whistle. And so it took forever to get those two things just out of their habit because they didn't do it on purpose anymore. They just did it out of habit of having done it for so long. But I heard TJ's peas in there, and I remember like having to go in and like cut so much of that pea down.
Chaotic asks, Rev, would you consider your jokes changed over the show?
I don't think a whole lot. It was always kind of the rule at the table from the very beginning that there were no inside jokes allowed. Like the jokes had to be something that the audience was in on. So if something happened between Jake and I a long time ago that was a joke we always did, I didn't want anyone to feel left out from jokes. And so like I don't have them roll ridiculous things anymore. Like TJ just leveled up on something that was kind of a joke that turned into something, very important. Yeah, I don't really feel like the humor has changed all that much. It may have gotten a little darker. Because we have all gotten a little darker just as life has gone on, but
It seems pretty much the same. I mean, I sit and record with you every week, and this, it doesn't sound like listening to these back episodes from 3 years ago that I'm listening to like people I don't know. Like this all seems pretty on track with what I know. Speaking of silly things becoming important, Jax asks, when in the first arc did you decide the whole car thing, as in the things we find out later about that car?
yeah. So the name is a joke that I stuck with because it's from, I can't remember what it is, Billy Madison.
Some
I think.
Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, and it was just something that it was just something that I kind of threw out of nowhere. And then later when we were doing our first live show, well, technically our second live show at Gen Con, I knew I wanted it to be something important connected to Indianapolis. And I was like, oh, the Motor Speedway. And so I went back and remembered those two things. And I had this path laid out in my head. I needed a character who had been around for a very long time. And I was like, oh, this is who it is. And this is how it's connected. And then I kind of reverse linked a couple of these moments to a future moment. So
before we keep listening, Mithril asks, do you miss some of that early, sillier tone?
I personally don't, because for me, as a listener, the story that I really wanted to tell and that I feel like is kind of where I live comfortably happens around the time of the Eye of Horus. Like for me, that's kind of where we hit our stride of what the show is going to be. We still have a lot of silly things that happen and out of character jokes. But we were just kind of finding our footing in the overall tone. And so Once we hit Eye of Horus, that for me is where it's really kind of firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, absolutely. Ugh, so good. All right, let's keep going.
Happens in the moment.
Okay, so I have to fill out as I either roll low rolls, or if a move tells me to do it based on some action that I take with that move, I fill out this grid of boxes, and there are 5 of them. And if I get all 5, then I level up, which then allows me to select some kind of improvement to my character, whether it's one of my stats or whether it's adding a new move.
Great. And everybody has a specific list attached to their playbook, so not everyone has the same options of what to pick. One character may get to take 3 more powers throughout the course of their leveling up, where another character may only have 2 power options, but they get, a couple of luck points back, which we'll talk about those if they ever come up.
Right.
So what are you going to take?
I'm going to go ahead and get a new mundane move, and that is called Oops.
Excellent. So tell us what Oops does.
If you want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. You will find something important and useful, although not necessarily related to your immediate problem.
Great. And there is no roll for that.
There is no roll. I just say, oops, and I find something.
Literally every time it's your turn. Oops. And just at the end of it, we come outside and you are just laden with random garbage.
Just like bandoliers of not even bullets or anything.
What are those? You're like, I don't know, but they're probably going to be useful.
It's going to be like blow dart guns.
I found 30 pieces of a puzzle that was 30 pieces. And look, it makes a map for where we need to go on the last adventure. So outside, TJ's getting froggered, racking up points. Inside, you guys are approaching 2 doors.
Is it literally a set of double doors, or is it 2 separate?
2 separate doors. They're about...
Yeah, I want to hit that before we move on. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
let's talk
think
about
that
Oops.
TJ was very good about how often he used Oops. He would always surprise us with it. Like he let enough time pass that you kind of forgot he could do it. And I feel like with some of the bigger moves, Tass was that same way with Trust Your Gut for quite a while. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite moves.
Yeah, it's such a good move.
Every time TJ uses it is a delight.
Yeah.
2 doors.
Is it literally a set of double doors, or is it 2 separate?
2 separate doors. They're about 8 feet apart, but on the same wall.
I think I'm just going to go for the closest one.
All right. It is unlocked.
I'm going to open it.
Okay. Inside, you see darkness.
I'm going to feel along the inside of the wall for a switch.
Roll or use a point.
I'm going to use my hold.
Excellent. So you can tell kind of by the few shadows that you see back here that this must be the backstage. You can see some rigging. You see that the main power grid is over by the rope pulley system.
I'm going to go to it.
Yeah.
And flip it.
Yep. Lights kick on. You see the curtain that is closed between you and what you assume is the stage. You see light coming from underneath that as well. You think you've activated the lights backstage and the lights inside of the theater. But you can clearly see now that you are backstage. There's some platforms. There are some fire curtains. There are some sandbags.
Should we yell for him, or will that bring their attention? I mean, we have to find him somehow.
You just kicked on all the house lights. I think we probably got their attention.
Yeah, that's fair.
TJ!
Silence. And then skittering.
Oh,
no.
That's not ideal.
Does it just, at a glance, look like there's anything back here?
Roll read a bad situation.
9.
You get a hold 1.
Are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
You think that from the front of the theater you hear something galloping in your direction.
Do you hear that?
I do now.
Do any of the ropes that are right here seem like they lead to anything heavy above the curtain area?
Roll investigate a mystery.
9.
All right, you get a hold 1.
What is being concealed here in terms of something heavy that's roped up above?
Yeah, you can see that these pulley systems are holding old pieces of backdrop, old wood construction backdrops.
Do you have anything sharp?
I don't. What do you have in mind?
I gesture from the rope up to the thing that it's holding up. We could drop some shit on it.
I pull out my pistol.
All right. How are you doing this? Which one are you going to shoot? Which one are you going to try to drop? You know how a pulley system works. Different ropes hold different layers from the theater front to back.
Right.
Which one are you going to try to do and when?
Well, that depends on, where I think this thing is coming from.
Roll read a bad situation. You hear this thing running. It's been running unreasonably long. It should be here by now.
It sounds winded.
5.
You think that it is going to come straight through the middle. And if you shoot the 8th one, it should drop the house on it.
I'm going to go to that one then.
Okay. So as you approach that one, you see that it's actually really thick rope. You're not sure that you can shoot through the whole rope in one shot just because of how thick it is. But you can, because it is an old style, you can just untie the rope.
Oh, yeah. If it's just the old school, I'm just going to, essentially pull the knot and release it.
Great. So you do that. Jake, roll
Oh, no.
act under
Tremendous.
pressure.
Tremendous.
Oh, no.
6.
Oh,
no.
Experience.
We see Tass unravel this rope, and Jake's like, go, let it go. You're going to crush him. He's going to come right there. And this house falls on Jake. And his feet are sticking out from underneath it like he's the Wicked Witch.
I am just a pair of ruby slippers away.
You take 2 harm. You take 1 harm, though, because of your armor. This thing comes tearing around the corner straight at you. Do you want to try to fire at it, or do you want to try to get out of the way?
I want to get out of the way.
All right,
If
roll.
it's really tearing at me, that's what I want to
It
do.
is. Act under pressure.
Well, it's a 5.
Well, we had a good run, everybody.
It's been a good run. It's been a good run. This thing sprints at you, and you can see in this moment before it collides with you that its eyes dart to your hands and dart to the ground, and it doesn't hit you. It passes by, but as it passes by, it takes your phone from your hand and picks the mag light up and carries them off with it. And then the building goes dark.
Oh, no.
Ugh.
I'm
That
going to
son of a bitch.
feel my way towards where I think Jake is.
I want to lift a house off of me, please.
This would be a time to use one of your new
Oh,
powers.
no. Is it that? Oh, shit. So,
We haven't got to use one of these yet. This is a why are you weird?
Yeah, so
Or how are you
we
weird,
took
actually.
this optional rules adjustment where instead of everybody just having use magic as a move, there was a list of other plus weird moves that you could take. And so I swapped out because just use magic didn't feel like it made quite as much sense for me. And instead I took a move called No Limits, which is when you need to push your physical body past its limits, roll plus weird. On a 10 or more, your body obeys your will to the limits of physical possibility. On a 7 to 9, you do it but choose a consequence. On a 6 or less, something goes horribly wrong. And it gives examples of what is and is not physically possible. So, like lifting an SUV or jumping over a truck or punching through a brick wall, those are all possible. Lifting a skyscraper or flying or punching a blast of energy at a foe are not. And weird is just not my strong suit. So this is not going to go great. 8. That went better than I expected.
All right. And what does your power say?
I choose one consequence, suffer 1 harm, take -1 forward, or I need to rest right now. How long do I have to rest?
It's probably going to be a couple minutes.
I'll take -1 forward.
Okay.
I'm gonna take that gamble.
Yeah, so you grunt and strain and push, and you...
And I poop real big.
and you also get the house off of you and push it to the side.
And I just roll over and I look at him and I'm like, did you see that? I just lifted up a house.
I cannot describe to you how happy I am you're not pissed off at me right now in this moment.
And he says, I wish I'd seen it, but it's pitch black in here, bro.
Oh yeah.
No, he saw it.
Okay.
Thank you.
There's a little bit of light from the, up in the, from the, yeah.
Yeah.
Just from where light comes from.
From
places.
Jake's phone that it didn't get.
Yay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I want to stand back up and grab my hammer and I guess my phone. That was probably in my pocket since I was using a flashlight. So pull out my shitty iPhone flashlight.
Yeah,
I'm
you
sorry,
turn it on
Apple.
and-
Please don't yank your sponsorship. That sickened head shake. Oh,
Because I know there's
more-
so many. I can't cut around any of this. Now they all have to stay.
the more tired you get of this bit, the funnier it becomes to me. Where did it go?
Yeah, I mean, this may not pan out, but I saw the thing, obviously.
Yeah.
Did it, I mean, it had that same quality as the little dudes. Is that
Yes.
safe to say?
Mhm.
So I guess what I would have in my head is to like try to get him to bring his phone over and see if it left some kind of trail or something, if like any of that goo is left behind, or if, even the way that sometimes if your like feet are damp or something and you almost leave that kind of condensation type of just
Gross.
something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you more ammunition, so I'm just going to take that fail. Out of 6. It was, in fact, a 6.
TJ is visibly, physically pained by how many rolls we have failed.
Yep.
So you see that as you look around to see where this thing went, that you think you actually see it moving around the outskirts of the light cast by Jake's phone. And it is dim. It doesn't go quite as far as the mag light. And you almost feel like the creature tests how close it can get before it feels the intensity of the light and kind of marks that and runs away again into the darkness.
Oh, don't like that. And was that sort of the way it ran, like sort of deeper into the theater? Or like the way that we came from? That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah, it ran past you, the direction you came, but then when you see it kind of circling you, it's back towards the middle of the theater, kind of by the curtain that separates the front stage and the backstage.
Oof. Let's backpedal here, and I kind of want to go move back towards where I turn the light on and just try it a few times.
You get to the switch and you hold up the light so that you can try to get the lights inside back on, and you realize that there is a slash going across some of the wires and that it's still in the on position, but the power is not coming through it.
Lovely. Neat. Wonderful.
So TJ, you have picked yourself back up off the...
Lots of failed rolls in
Oh.
this second episode.
So many failures.
Ben the Human did go back with all of season 1 and chart every roll and made a wonderful spreadsheet that shows how many rolls each player had in the first season, what their average roll was, how many of each roll they had, when luck was used, and quite a number of things. It's very fun.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
I forget who on average rolled the best in season 1.
Jake, I believe.
Okay. You wouldn't know it to listen to it this time.
Yeah. Well, it's because, and we did determine that it's partially because he rolled the most too, because there are some moves that he gets that he rolled pretty frequently.
Yeah, that's
Out
true.
of necessity.
Let's see. We have some. Amanda asks, Kim and Rev, do you have favorite playbooks or favorite playbook moves?
I love, I think it's from the Initiate Premonitions, where you can roll at the beginning of the mystery and then you
Fortunes.
get X amount of hold. Fortunes, yes. And you can use that hold to like be at the right place at the right time. I love that. I took that move for Everett in Omniverse Chronicles.
That was the playbook that I was going to mention that I really like. I think that the Initiate is a really cool playbook. I'm also a big fan of the Mundane. I think that they've got, if you play it smart, they're surprisingly powerful.
Yeah. I love, you know what, I think we can actually say this because I think it's pretty well set. But gosh, a year ago, maybe even more, we did the last, not the last, but the most recent episode of Tass's game, The End of Days, which was a streaming only game. It was before we recorded our streams and posted them. And we had one episode left and we never got to do that episode. We do have a date for that episode, I believe. I believe if things all go according to plan, on July 23rd, which is a Friday night, we will be doing the final episode of Tass's End of Days story, where we were in the apocalypse in a big, bad way. And we are going to have more than the average number of players here.
What?
We've had some folks who have been staples of that game. We have had some guests. And so we will probably have at least 5 or 6 hunters. And so no, that is just on Twitch. But but End of Days is where Everett originated from. He is the hunter that I played on that. And it's the same character, but he is the expert. And he has kind of steampunked himself out, given himself what are those called? The metallic nodes that come out of his back that shoot electricity from one another, and that's how he does angel wings. Yeah, it's so much fun.
Nice. Chaotic had a question.
Yeah.
I think touching on the fact that we know that you, Rev, and Tass and TJ all come from the theater world, but Jake doesn't necessarily. How did Jake handle all of the descriptions of the theater? Did he know pretty much all the time what you guys were talking about?
I think for the most part, there were a couple things. In the first episode, I said something about a gangplank, and so I gave an explanation for that. Like anything that I give a more detailed explanation of, it was like he was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, that's a good point. I should mention that because again, you don't want to take for granted the knowledge that you have versus the knowledge your audience might have."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that everyone, when we do End of Days, will be at the same table. If my number in my head is correct, there will be Tass will run it, and then there will be 6 players, I think. So it'll be great. Okay.
Nice. All right, let's keep going.
So TJ, you have picked yourself back up off the ground, dusted yourself off.
Yes,
I've heard that you get knocked down, but you do get back up again.
it's true. I get knocked down, but I get up again. They're never going to take me down.
No, don't, please.
Okay.
No.
Who's that knocking at the door? Oh, it's the people who are going to write our new opening theme.
Chumbawamba.
Sometimes you just got to take a joke you don't like and own it.
That's right.
You son of a bitch.
So what are you doing?
Sorry, did the car that annihilated him just go?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Wow, we're
Indianapolis,
in a
dude.
bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
I am going to go to the car.
Okay.
And I am going to see if I can't find something that I can use.
So you go over to his car to try to get inside, and you remember seeing some grenades and various bullets, and it's locked. You try to pull it a couple times, and you fall backwards as your hand slips from the door handle of the car. Your hand wraps around something when you hit the pavement. You stand back up and you look in your hand, and there's a ticket stub from a play that they had done here a couple of years ago before they closed.
What's the play?
It's for Macbeth.
Macbeth?
Mm-hmm.
By Shakespeare?
No, by
Greg.
Louganis.
Oh, man.
It's his adaptation. It's about the heights that a man will go to win Olympic gold.
It's actually called Macbest.
Is there any other information on this ticket?
Yeah, there's a date and a time and a seat number.
Well, what are the dates, the time, and the seat number?
G4, 7:30, March 9th, 2011.
Interesting. So I'm just going to go ahead and pocket this. And I'm going to sit on the hood of Eric's car, and I am going to think about what it is that I saw inside their lobby, especially with what happened with you.
All right, roll it.
4.
So you sit down on the hood of Tass's car, and the alarm starts to go off. Inside the theater, you make this realization, Tass, that the lights have been gashed, and you hear your car alarm going off.
Oh,
Did I say Eric again in that?
TJ said Eric. I'm gonna sit on the hood of Eric's car.
Yep, that's fair. Someone caught that I said it once in episode 1 too that I didn't catch.
Yep.
You hear your car alarm going off.
oh, son of a bitch. And start heading towards the way we came in. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going.
Okay. You know that there were some things this way, so read a bad situation.
Oh, no. Hold on. Read a bad situation. It was a grand total of a 4, everybody. A 4. I am going to melt those down later.
6 and under, we've done this a couple times, but I want to give this little disclaimer. Misread the situation or give away tactical information. So as you start to make your way towards this door and you're trying to kind of get a sense of, oh, is it dangerous here? What's coming down the hallway? You're having a hard time seeing, and you say, God, it makes me so frustrated that this is the only light we have left. And then you realize what you've said as Jake kind of American dads in the background.
I was picturing the Stewie.
Slow head tilt.
Yeah, that's even better, actually.
The important thing is it's a Seth MacFarlane reference.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you, Seth MacFarlane, for sponsoring the show.
Wait, who's that at the door?
It's Seth
It's
MacFarlane's
Seth
lawyers.
MacFarlane himself. Oh, we've been given
He's like,
just a number of cease and desists. I guess they're just delivering them for all of the other
Yeah.
organizations.
yeah, they are.
this one guy, he's like, I'm not making 17 trips. I'll just wait until the episode's over and take all of the ones they've racked up.
So then I say, oh shit, what am I saying? Go, go, go. And book it.
All right, so you both are going to try to run down this dark hallway towards the direction that you know danger lies and out the door,
When you put it like that, it sounds like an even better idea.
right? Act under pressure, both of you.
Yay.
Act under pressure. So that is 9.
Great.
12.
So, Jake, you make it out, no problem. You sprint down the hallway, you make a sharp turn, bust out the door. Tash, you're right behind him, and you realize you might be going a little too fast. Either you're not going to make the turn sharp enough to get out the door, or you'll be able to grab on to the side and kind of swing yourself out, but you feel like you might dislocate your shoulder doing so. Or you can brake fast enough to turn, but it's going to use both hands and you're going to drop the phone with the flashlight on it.
Oh no. Oh no.
These 3 option things are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I thought you liked that. So am I feeling like if I hit that wall, it's going to hurt? Is that the...
It's the wall that you know the next room over is filled with those creatures.
Okay.
But you're going to be past the door and right by the door that leads into the darkness and then down the stairs.
I'm going to drop the phone.
So you drop this phone, you see it hit the ground and bounce into the darkness room as you put out both hands and catch yourself on the door and fling yourself outside, pulling the door shut behind you. And you're both outside.
I got some good news and bad news.
I'll stop there for a second. Lot going wrong.
Oh,
Which is where the story
2
happens,
is
you know?
yeah, it's true. But just I forgot it was this many fails. Like
Yeah.
they were cursed from the beginning. Amanda says, I really love how you give the those choices in different situations, Rev. How do you come up with them on the fly? Tell me your secrets.
Really, it is. I try to, as quickly as possible, just picture myself in that situation and think like, okay, if I was running at something really fast and I had to turn a sharp corner, what are the things I might like screw up and do? Like if I'm still going to make it out the door, oh yeah, I'm probably going to like hit and bounce off of that wall and I'm going to hurt myself, or I'm going to have to let go of what's in my hand to like smack my hand against the wall and push off. It is really always just a very quick exercise of picturing myself in that situation and like what are the things that would go wrong to me if I was doing them not to perfection. And I love like I love giving the 3 options because I think it's so much fun for them to get to pick what it is that happens to them. But I will never forget, at the end of the season, this isn't really a spoiler, but we have Michael Sands on as a guest, and he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, I really like that. It's very cool. You're doing a lot of work though. You're making the rest of us look bad. I thought that was so cool for him to say.
Jack asks, along those lines, have you ever done the or you'll lose something option and had no idea what they were going to leave behind?
Yes. Yeah, sometimes let me rephrase that. I will tell them they're going to leave something behind, but they don't know what it is.
Okay.
I will know what it is because I don't give that as an option if there isn't actually something for them to leave behind.
Makes sense.
There have been some situations where it's like, Tass, and the only thing he's got on him specifically is he's like, oh yeah, I brought my flashlight. And I'm like, well, that's not interesting to leave behind. So then I don't give that as an option.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But I don't always tell them when they leave something behind.
It's more fun when they find out about it later.
Found out later, yeah.
Little Gnome asks, what's with the whole Eric thing? Is that Tass's actual name? Do all of you go by names that aren't your actual names?
Not all of us.
Yeah.
So no, Tass is Eric's nickname, and Rev is my nickname, and then everyone else goes by their real name.
All the rest of us go by our own names.
By your proper Christian
our
names.
proper names. Ossifer says, this is unrelated, but I appreciate that you both have matching blue backgrounds. You're welcome.
Yep.
Jack says, it all sounds so seamless during the game, but are there ever silences where you are making a decision / taking notes, etc., that you just cut out later?
Yeah, one of the first things I do whenever we edit is I process all of the audio for quality, and then the last step of that is truncating the silence, where it takes any silence that's longer than, we'll say, I think I have it set at 0.3 seconds, or or it's like anything that's over 0.5 seconds, it cuts down to 0.5 seconds. And so there could be, that's kind of our rule of thumb, is if you're thinking about something, it's always helpful to me when people like just sit and think quietly, because that just goes away. But it's not always the most beneficial thing for them. So a lot of times it's, people kind of talking stuff out to themselves, and then I'll just cut that out. So it just goes straight into the decision.
Yeah, that stuff happens all the time, but that's the beauty of editing.
Why isn't TJ an actual name? I'm very confused.
Jack says, that makes me feel better about having my players sit and wait while I think of the next thing. Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Like in my home games, I do a whole bunch of that. It's not it's not quite as seamless. In fact, and I sometimes listen to the episodes before they come out onto the main feed, and there was one section that I caught in a recent episode of Coin that sounded a little less polished than it usually is. That just like a section of it just hadn't gotten the sort of editing finesse.
Gotten the once over.
Yeah, and so I pointed it out to Rev, and Rev was like, "Oh, great, thanks for catching it. Sorry." And I was like, "No, honestly, it's just refreshing to know that you're human." Like, let's keep going.
I got some good news and bad news.
I'm probably just panting heavily from sprinting that. I just put up one finger. What?
The good news is I'm safe.
Yeah, we both are.
We don't have light, and I'm just going to stalk past him towards my car.
I had my whole music library on that.
You guys walk out towards the street, and you hear, and you see TJ sitting on the roof of your car, meditating.
I'm going to get out my key fob and turn off that alarm first. Where the hell did you go?
I saw Revington.
Wait. Okay.
I saw Revington.
Where?
He's the creature. He's the monster that we're here to get. I got taken because, like, I don't know, I must have been a little loud or something, whatever. I ended up inside the theater, and he was kneeling, like, with all this goop kind of falling off.
Like inky, like shadowy black?
Yes. Did you guys see it or something?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Well, he's underneath all of that. He is it. It's almost like he was like Venom or something like that.
Oh, God.
But not like the crappy movie that's going to be coming out shortly.
Ooh, the one movie that TJ won't haunt us for if he dies and misses.
That's right. Did you guys find anything out wherever you guys went?
It seems like it has a vendetta against light.
Really?
Yeah. It very specifically targeted all of our light sources instead of hurting us.
Well, what do we do? Do you got any flashbangs?
Shit, that would be cool. Do you have any flashbangs?
I don't.
Do you have any more flashlights?
I don't.
I got an idea. Let's just run this car into the theater and turn on
the lights on?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it. It's horrible and I love it.
Yeah, but all that helps us with is the entryway. I can't drive the car around the place.
Well, then we need to somehow sneak it or somehow lure it into where we're at, I guess. I don't know.
Into where I've wrecked my car through the through the front doors?
Sure.
Maybe. Nope, never mind. Bad idea. Stop looking at me. I take it back. I don't have an idea anymore.
What about the light that's on the front of the building, or like the street lights that are in the front of the building? Could they be if we open the doors? Could they be seen through the door?
Very minimally.
Okay.
There's a big marquee. I want to take a quick moment and use my newest power from leveling up. And I want to try to heal myself
Great.
because I took medic.
All right. So what's that do?
You have a full first aid kit and the training to heal people. When you do first aid, roll cool. On a 10+, the patient is stabilized and healed of 2 harm. On a 7 to 9, choose 1, heal 2 harm, or stabilize the injury. On a miss, you cause an extra 1 harm. Oh, yeah, baby. That's a 10.
All right.
Nice.
Heal thyself.
I'm
Can
trying
you
to
heal
decide.
others too.
Yeah.
Oh, neat.
How you guys feeling?
I forgot how I hurt myself. How did I get injured? Oh, I got hit by a car.
Yeah, you did. You surely did.
I'm feeling a little like my hip hurts.
I can try. I'm new at this, so I mean, I could literally hurt you more. It's up to you.
I think I'll be okay. Maybe I'll just wait till, something else.
Jakey Pie, how you feeling?
Nearly unstable. I also have a healing ability, and I know exactly how this works on me, because I have lay on hands. Your touch can heal injury and disease. When you lay your hands on someone hurt, roll plus cool. On a 10+, heal 2 harm or an illness, plus they're stabilized. On a 7 to 9, you can heal the harm or illness as on a 10+, but you take it onto yourself. On a miss, your aura causes them extra harm. But a 7 to 9 would do nothing, because I would just be taking my own harm.
Or taking it again.
You'd be doubling.
It's
your
not
harm,
a
basically.
it's not an extra harm thing.
None of that sounds to me like you can use it on yourself is my concern. Every element of that says they or them, because there's no ramification then.
Yeah, for a 7 to 9,
But
there's
he could
it's
heal
nothing.
you.
It's your call. I got a +2. It's your call,
How much
man.
worse can you make me? Go for it.
+1 damage.
So unstable and dying, mechanically speaking.
To be fair, this creature could also do the same thing to you.
I mean, that's as soon as it hits me, I'm going to be unstable.
But
and
at
dying.
least with this particular power, there is a chance that you could not be harmed anymore.
In this way, you'll die in the street.
heroic.
Just like the old
Glorious.
gypsy woman's prophecy said.
All right, go for it.
You sure?
No, but do it.
Okay. Oof. You get +2.
What'd you
Or-
roll?
8. Healed 2.
Cool. What's
Nice
the
job
bad thing on an
there.
8?
I just have to pick whether it's +2 heal or stabilize.
It's way better than your godly one.
Yeah.
Just to read it again, you have a full first aid kit and the training to heal people. When you do first aid, roll plus cool. On a 10+, the patient is stabilized and healed of 2 harm. On a 7 to 9, choose 1. Heal 2 harm or stabilize the injury. On a miss, you do cause 1 extra harm.
So you guys need to be healing each other.
Yep.
Because even yours says the patient.
Oh.
Are we bothering to retcon that right now?
Yeah. Because, I mean, they both say the same thing. So if it's one way for him, it's got to be the same way for you, I think.
Fair.
If you try to heal me but don't get something, you get
If I
hurt,
don't-
right?
Yeah, if I don't get a full success, then I get some hurt. So on
Oh.
a full success, I just heal you. On a mixed success, I heal you, but I take the damage upon myself.
Okay, so that I just healed you. That's not really worth it, frankly.
I mean, I don't know. I hate for either of us to go in damaged.
Yeah,
But-
but mine's not bad, and you're definitely going to be you're melee man. So I think I just don't think it's worth chancing it and just undoing what I
Okay.
just did.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Then I think it's time for me to use my move, deal with the agency.
All right. So
Okay, we'll stop there. That was a whole lot of us figuring out how that was going to work, because we knew that we really wanted to avoid having to change the way we were doing the rules in the future. So anytime we would figure it out, it's like, okay, let's figure it out though for real, because this is how it'll be going forward.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and to the Z Mage, yeah, I'm the same way, that I think that you can, go to 4 harm, become unstable, and then be stabilized, and that just stops you from taking additional damage when you do additional things. Or you can be at 5 harm and be stable, or be stabilized. That way you're just not, because when you're unstable, you take damage when you exert yourself. So stabilizing stops you from taking that additional damage as you do strenuous things.
Hey, Rude Chimp, thank you for the follow. But no, I really appreciate you like setting things and talking about how these rules work. And I have heard instances of you talking with the players about how do you think this power works? How do you think it works? Like, think carefully because, you know, it can be whatever, but whatever you say is going to apply to everyone else that has this power. So, like, if you want X thing you can do to be, like, very powerful, like, almost, like, no, like, you know, I can read minds from miles away, and it's like, okay, great. Now everyone else who can do that now.
Yeah, that, you know, whatever you pick, if there's a monster that has a similar power, it will work for them the same way it works for you. And so you can limit yourself and the things in the world, or you can make yourself more powerful and, you know, have a little bit more of a dangerous world.
Exactly. I did like listening to that. That's the beginning of the sort of circle of healing that goes on in the beginning of this. Yeah. Very good. Let's keep
Deal
going.
with the agency.
All right. So tell us what does that do?
I can't, because I don't have my cell phone.
Oh, God damn
no.
it. Is this an old enough part of town that there's still a payphone around?
I don't think that exists
No,
anymore.
absolutely
You guys need a
not.
cell phone?
Oh,
I've got mine. Like
Do
it's
you?
like
oh,
on maybe,
give me that.
13% battery. but,
3,
I mean,
actually. You see you left the flashlight on in your pocket the whole time.
Oh, give that to me quick, quick, quick,
turn
quick.
off the flashlight real quick. Ah, damn. Here, go.
And I'm gonna make my call.
All right.
That would be a 7.
All right. And who's your immediate supervisor?
Margaret.
And we've already met Margaret.
We have.
Okay. So Margaret answers. IPT.
Hey, it's Tass. Wow, we have really got a serious situation here.
Oh, is everything going all right?
It ain't great. There's definitely a thing here. It is some kind of inky, shadowy figure. What we found first were these imps. There were 3 of them, these small, like, you know, not even a foot tall, made out of this inky, shadowy goo. And then they merged together. They got bigger and attacked us.
They merged into one?
Yeah. They got like into a bigger version of it. When we hit it, it would break them back down into smaller ones, and then eventually they would turn into these puddles. But even the puddles were like sentient, like they were moving, like they were trying to reconnect with something. And that's what we saw first. We followed those into this basement, and there was this like concentrated, almost a waterfall of this stuff coming out of a locker, and it was getting bigger and bigger and pouring out. And I didn't see this one. One of my buddies here that came with me, he saw a big one, but it wasn't just that stuff. It was covering somebody. It was like it was attached to them, and he could hear them calling for help to get them out of it, and it dragged them away.
Did he see the person? Did he heard their specific voice?
Yeah, and that's what's messed up. It's somebody we know.
Oh, but you did see them. It wasn't just...
He saw him. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's okay. And what color were the eyes on these creatures?
Yellow.
Yellow. Not gray, but yellow.
Yellow. And they don't like light. They actually, that's half of why I'm calling. It stole and destroyed our flashlights, our phones.
Oh, well, that makes sense. They're very tactically minded, actually. It's very intelligent. That's a soul bat.
A soul bat?
Yes. So whenever you have a superstition that people believe in to the point where they maybe get upset about it if it gets broken, like, oh, seeing a bride on their wedding day or walking under a ladder, things that people actually adamantly believe. They're superstitions that hold power for people. Well, a lot of times that power is negative. They feel angry or upset when they see someone break it. And I mean, as you know, negative energy, it's a force in the world. And soul bats, from the plane that they come from, they're able to take that negative energy surrounding that superstition and attach it to the item that it's connected to. So say a wedding dress or a ladder, one that people have walked under a bunch, or the wedding dress of a bride where the groom saw her before the wedding. and they're able to take the negative energy from around and coalesce it into a portal on that physical item. And they cross into our plane, and they're linked to that item unless they can get a hold of a host, a person, and they latch onto that person and they bond with it. And once they're bonded with it, they're here for good, and they don't need that item anymore. So somewhere there is a thing that this soul bat is connected to. It's using as an anchor to keep it in our reality, unless, of course, it bonds with your friend. But, I mean, if you saw his face, if you heard his voice, then there's still time. It hasn't bonded yet. Your window is probably getting pretty tight.
Okay, so we find the object, we destroy that, or we lose my friend.
Right.
Okay, so if light actually hurts it, that's what we need. Do we have anything left at the shop?
If you had something that you could figure out to do there, I would recommend it. I think by the time you get back across town and there, your window might be closed.
Oh, that's not great. Oh, before I go, I meant to ask, is this theater one that we are really looking at purchasing?
Yeah, we were thinking about purchasing it.
Oh, well, then that's not too bad then, because it also destroyed a whole bunch of the lighting. I'll talk to you later.
Wait, what?
Click.
So what'd you find out?
We need to hit it with...
So no, are these real folklore? They are
folklore.
not. Yeah, the folklore. This is what we eat with. Yeah, this is something that I generated specifically for this story, and based around the mystery that I had set up inside of this old theater.
So what inspired you just wanting to set a mystery in an old theater and do something around theater superstitions? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That really is the extent of it.
Yeah. Are you superstitious? I know a lot of actors are.
No.
Mm.
No, and in fact, I've talked about this before. I did a production of Macbeth years ago, and the artistic director of that theater also was not superstitious at all, but we had a director working there at the time who was super unhappy that she was working there while we were doing Macbeth, because she would freak out anytime someone would say it. And since that day, every time I have gone out on stage for any show I have ever done, I have said Macbeth to myself out loud before I stepped on the stage. So literally thousands of times, just to prove to myself that it doesn't do anything.
So far, that seems to be going well.
Yeah.
Unless someone's just really banking up a bunch of hard moves eventually.
Yeah, fair.
No questions. Just a lot of love in the chat for Margaret, who I agree, one of my favorite NPCs and iconic from the very beginning.
Yeah. Just roasting everybody right from the
so
beginning.
good. And Margaret is a real person?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Z-Mage just asked, so, wait, no. A friend of mine is very theater superstitious, and once we were making fun of him, we kept saying Macbeth, and then all our tech stuff went to hell. Amanda asks, Margaret is real. Who is she based on?
She is Tass's
supervisor
boss at the IPT. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild sometimes to be in our cast channel and see just like, you know, we're trying to plan like Gen Con stuff and Tass being like, oh yeah, I just talked to Margaret and stuff like that. So it's real. Yep. Does Margaret listen to the show?
I don't know. I know she has, but I don't know how far she's listened. She's heard it herself.
Okay. That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Wait, what?
Click.
So what'd you find out?
We need to hit it with light, and it's got Rev, and if we wait too long, it's going to bond with him, and that's bad.
What is it?
It's a soul bat. Never heard of it?
Oh, I used to catch those all the time in Mount Moon.
I think you're thinking of a Zubat.
Oh, shit. Yeah, you're right.
Oh, he waited like 10 minutes for that joke, too. I saw it dawn
I
on him.
did.
Oh.
And you gave me nothing.
It's made up of negativity, essentially. And it is latching on to Rev somehow, and it's trying to bond with him to stay in this world. He's not bonded yet, or else TJ apparently wouldn't have been able to actually see Rev. So we've got some time, but not very much. We have to figure out how to get light in here.
I've been thinking about something while you guys have been talking about this, and I think I'm going to go ahead and use one of my powers, the How Are You Weird power. And in this case, the How Am I Weird is called Weird Science. And what it allows me to do is when I want to create or adapt a device to analyze or deal with a strange phenomenon, I say what it will do and roll plus weird. And I want to turn your headlights and possibly the battery of your car into an awesome lighting power suit of armor for Jake. I'm talking both headlights on the shoulders, and then like, I don't know, the internal lights of the car just kind of like spread out all over him. Like maybe he's got one on the top of his forehead or something like that.
man.
The dome light is a third eye.
Yeah, basically. And you know what? I'm not even going to roll this. I'm just going to use one of my luck because I want this to happen.
Oh, nice.
my
All right, so let's talk about that for
God.
just a second. Luck is something that all the hunters have. They have, how many luck do you guys have?
We have
7?
luck.
They have
because,
7 luck.
You know, lucky number 7.
Oh, well, fair. You can spend a point of luck to decrease a wound you have suffered to 0 harm. You can use a point of luck to instantly change the results of a roll into a 12. And when you have no luck left, bad things start happening to you all the time.
Can I convince you to roll it
And then only spend the luck
and
if
then
you
spend
need
the
it?
luck if you have failed?
That is a good point.
Okay.
It didn't happen, so
Okay,
I'm using
spin
the
the
luck.
luck. Good
All
choice.
All right, so what is the 12 result?
On a 10 or more, you pick one requirement. There's a couple of requirements. It needs a rare and or weird material. It won't be very reliable. It requires huge amounts of power or fuel. It will take a long time to get it working. It won't work exactly as you intended. Or you'll need help beyond the hunters on your team to finish it. I feel like it should take a long time to get it working only because I don't want it to use the entire battery of the car. But I also don't want us to be spending hours out here.
With that out loud, Tass may tell you that time is of the essence when it comes to this thing bonding.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if you weren't eavesdropping on his phone call because you're a good guy.
Okay. Gosh, it won't work exactly as I intended it to.
So you start to cobble headlights, tail lights, dome lights, the vanity light by the mirror, the lights that show him the gas gauge, the lights that show him that the car needs checked or
Oh
the
my.
oil needs filled, the lights inside of the glove compartment, the trunk lights, the lights inside of the radio, even the push-in lighter.
What about my ground effects?
So you guys step out in the road as he is just creating a cloud of arms and legs and dust, almost like a cartoon, as he takes apart your car piece by piece, getting all the vital pieces that he needs.
And while he's doing that, I lean over to Jake and say, how in the hell is he doing this faster than I would have driven to grab a goddamn flashlight?
This is how
Because
he's
he
weird,
is.
There
baby.
is
Yeah.
much we don't know about TJ.
I love it.
And you create this armored suit with lights all over it. It activates by pushing the panic button on the keys, but it doesn't quite function as you expected because Jake can't fit into it. It's just a little too small.
I can't believe you've taken this from me. I will never forgive you for this.
Oh, gosh. Who could fit in it, possibly?
Either of you could fit in it, but Jake, he's a beefy boy.
Let's think about this. If light's really going to hurt it, if we're attacking it without that on, it's going to hurt us. But if we have it on, it might not be able to. But we need to keep him safe, too. I'm going to make this your call. I think if I wear it, I'll be able to kill it faster, but it might go after him because he doesn't have it on. We should put it. We should put it on him.
Okay.
Okay.
You'll be the safest in the armor, and it won't stop trying to shut the lights down, and that'll give us plenty of time, and it'll have to expose itself to the light to break it down. So as long as we are quick enough, I think we can get it before it dismantles the lights.
I think so, too.
Yeah. All right. You need it, bub.
I need it.
You need it.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put it on.
And I'm going to hand him my 38.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Neat.
Do you have some exposed fingers to be able to use this gun?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't want us to just be like, oh, my fingers are lights now, but I can't use a weapon. No. Come on. Come on. Come on.
Exposed, no armor on hand. Just making notes.
The
Old
fingies.
Seven-Finger Teej, they called him after that
That's
adventure.
right. 7. Jeez. I lost 3 fingers.
It's
Dang
going to
it.
deshame you.
Oh my god.
Spoiler alert. So, what's the plan?
Such a subtle Dark Tower spoiler in the middle of that
Just
episode.
a random Dark Tower spoiler in the middle of this episode.
That we don't even name check what we're
No.
spoiling.
No.
So yeah, weird science, and we will get to this. I think this comes up later in this same story arc. But the speed at which TJ uses weird science does influence the move later. We actually remove one of his conditions. So he can never choose the it takes a long time option, because we had decided at this point that, like, canonically, whatever it is that's special about him, whatever it is that Jake has to help him, protect him, it's because he does this very fast. It is not a long process.
I'm so curious as to the reasons why the boys chose the weird moves that they chose.
I mean, for Jake, it just made sense to him because there wasn't there wasn't really like a super strength thing for the divine.
Mm-hmm.
And for him, it just made sense. Like, yeah, this makes the most sense that I can channel this energy into being really fast or being really agile, being really strong. And then Tass, that's what he has always thought of, like, of those special moves. Like, this is the one where he just sits down and takes a second and focuses. TJ, this is a TJ move. We made a very long time ago, they made like a little video series called TJ the Science Guy. And it was just him doing like Bill Nye, but being very bad at it, like doing almost like a Tim the Tool Man kind of thing, where he was doing science, but it was super dangerous or super bad science. And so he loves to like tinker with things and fiddle with stuff. And so this move just made sense for his weird move, and it gave me a good hook as to, like, okay, so why is TJ important? What is he moving towards that Jake has to protect him? And so him picking weird science gave me a place to kind of tie that thread.
And it's given us so many gifts.
Yeah, so some great art. I have a wonderful hand-drawn portrait of of one vehicle that they get later on upstairs in the recording room.
There are a few drawings of various TJ vehicles. I'm remembering another one.
Yeah.
Oh man. Speaking of vehicles, I believe this is the first death of one of the boys' vehicles.
Tass's car.
Tass's car made it 1.5 episodes.
1.5 episodes before TJ already had designs on it. It'll become a reoccurring theme.
It will. That's the final boss, is like the ghosts of all the cars that have been killed.
Yeah.
All right.
So, what's the plan?
I think the battle plan is we get inside, like through the main doors and into the lobby, and Tass and I kind of set up on either side of the doors from the lobby to the theater, and TJ stands just on like the lobby side of that doorway, and then we activate the lights. And so if the thing decides to come try and destroy the light source, then we kind of get the drop on it maybe as it comes through the theater doors, assuming that it's in the theater and coming that way. And if it doesn't, then we go hunting one way or another. Like, maybe we turn him back off and wait until we hear it coming and then activate it, or maybe we just use him as a beacon and try and corner it and melt it with light beams. I don't know.
I'm going to get into the lockbox that's under the back seat longwise.
Okay.
And pull out a big-ass rifle. Start sort of assembling it.
Okay.
And, so I've got...
Like a hunting rifle?
It is a sniper rifle.
Oh, so you're talking long range.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So where are you going to get then?
Well, I'm just going to have that in reserve.
Oh, okay.
And I've still got my shotty.
Okay, cool.
All right, let's do this. And then I play the little button that also I attach the radio, and it starts playing.
And you see that the lights are pulsing with the music.
I love this so much. I just imagine this, if this were like a movie, you press the button and we hear it coming out of the speakers, and then it just becomes the movie sound. Like it is
Yes,
just all encompassing as we
absolutely.
walk, and we just get just
Semi
epic movied just by this thing.
All right, so you guys make it into the theater. Do you stop the music before you go into the theater? Or?
I searched for a very long time. Yeah, exactly. I did a lot of research I was like, boy, I really want to sneak a piece of that music in there, but it's so dangerous. And so
Yeah.
I did not. I can't believe that, boy, I don't know what we would use it for. I can't believe that I haven't built that armor. Like that would be a great, I don't know, a great photo shoot piece. Anyway.
That would be really good. Are you going to sacrifice your own car to disassemble the Kia?
See, when you build cosplay stuff, you use like foam and things that are
No.
not
This needs to
heavy.
be realistic, Revington.
Oh, it'll look realistic.
Okay.
Don't question my skills, please.
Is that just to get you going, or you just?
No, that's just to get me going.
Okay. So you guys get into the lobby. You're both getting on either sides of the double door that leads into the theater.
Yes.
TJ, you are between the two doors,
Mhm.
the outside door and the theater door. You guys hear from inside the theater scuttling and scratching in the darkness. What do you want to do?
I want to like whisper, like, should we like pound on the doors first, get them riled up?
Yeah.
If you do it to the beat of the music.
Don't turn the music on yet.
Oh.
Okay, so I want to get like we each get a hand on one of the door handles so that we can pull them open,
Mm.
and I want to just give it 3 big like dun 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 on the door and wait and see how that sound changes.
So you pound on the door, and after a couple moments of silence, you hear like under the door, like something's kind of almost sniffing at the base of the door. And you hear a little bit of galloping again.
Does it sound like something just sniffed and then ran away from the door?
Yes.
I'm going to motion, like, do it again, and then I'm going to point at TJ with my hands up in a three fingers motion and do kind of a quick, like, countdown.
I give him the thumbs up to understand that he is trying to convey to me that he wants me to turn on the lights on the count of 3.
And then I'm going to do the same to Jake, is that same motion, the 3, 2, 1, and then make an open the door gesture.
Okay, yeah, got it.
All right.
So 3 more dun 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 on the door.
And you hear galloping towards the door.
And as it's getting closer,
Mm-hmm.
I start counting down.
Okay. Which one are you trying to do to time this right? Are you trying to listen closely and pull at the right second? Or...
That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. So act under pressure.
Okay.
Both of us or just him?
Both of you.
10.
7.
Excellent. You actually got a 9.
Oh.
That one rolled.
There it is.
All right, so that was act under pressure. So I'm going to give you guys a conjoined choice. Conjoined?
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm going to give
That
you
makes
guys
sense.
a connected option. You're trying to do this in sync. You both got the same result on this act under pressure. Your options are to pull the door too early and give this thing a straight shot at TJ before he pushes the button, to only be able to get one of the doors open, thus opening up one of you to being in the path. Or you can realize the timing mistake that you have both made and wrench these doors open earlier than you anticipated to make it time right, but it's going to take both hands, so you're going to have to drop your weapons.
And I think right there was the first time that I started to get away from it not working as an option.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't like that it just doesn't, I don't like it doesn't work as an option, like a worse outcome. So this is the point where I started giving all 3 options are still a success. You still do the thing you want to do, but how do you do it slightly different? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaning towards getting one door open. It'll still come through. I'm willing to take that hit, I think, to get it through and have you armed.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards the 3rd, I think, because we'll definitely time it right so that it's getting slammed with the thing we know it hates. And I think that would give us enough time to at least go for our weapons.
So you think we might get we might stun it long enough?
Sure. Tej?
Do you have thoughts?
I'm going to kill this thing with light, whether you guys like it or not.
All right, I say we go with the third one.
All right.
You guys realize at the last second that this thing's a little quieter than you expected, and it's way closer than you thought. And you're going to have to wrench these doors open super fast. So you both drop your weapons on the ground, and you lean back and fling these doors open. TJ, roll act under pressure.
2.
It's your big moment, baby.
Hello, additional luck point.
That ain't bad. How about a 9?
There you go. With a 9 for your act under pressure,
Mm-hmm.
you can get out of the way but not activate it fast enough. This thing is coming at you much faster than you anticipated. Or you can get the lights on, but not until it's already on you. Or you can get them on and one side shorts out.
Number 2.
Yeah,
I'm
boy.
gonna take it on me. I'm gonna
All
take
right.
it on me.
All
Hell
right.
yeah.
Take on me.
So this thing comes bursting through the doors. You guys lean back. TJ pushes the button right as this thing collides with him. Lights and music start to blare. And as you're laughing, holding your hands out, pushing this button, you get a very clear glimpse of your exposed flesh on your hands. And you see this thing gnashing at you and biting as the center of it's starting to burn away. And some of the inky goo off of its arm goes onto your fingers and inside the suit. What do you guys want to do?
I don't imagine that I noticed that.
No.
So I want to pick up my hammer and I want to smash the goo monster.
I'm going to pick up my shotgun and try to roll into a shot.
So act under pressure to get your weapons.
11.
No problem. You roll. You pick up that shotgun.
I get an experience point.
Oh.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
You lunge forward, assuming that your hand is going to land true and grab this hammer, and you're just going to turn this whole motion into a strike at this thing. And you don't grab it, and you just pinwheel forward, planting your face in its back. And you feel like it's starting to grip onto your head and your face. Tass, roll to kick some ass.
I imagine me like doing a sweet forward roll and like coming up and going to throw it. My hand's just empty, and I look and it's still behind me. Ha! Ooh!
7.
7. How much harm do you do?
3.
So you fire at this thing, and you see some of the goo just splatter off of it. You get up close to do this, and it's the first time you've really been this close to it in combat. And you see these spikes jut out from it and stab you for 2 harm.
Oof. I get to plug that down a little bit, but
And you can actually see that when this happens, those thinner tendrils, after they pull out from you, they're withering a little bit in the light before they retract into the body.
okay. I'll just yell and keep hitting it with that light.
Okay.
So TJ, as he's yelling this, you get this strange sensation that something is in the suit just wiggling around on you.
God, I've got to get out of the suit, but I'm gonna keep it on, obviously. So I just tear myself out of the suit.
Okay.
You don't think I didn't have a way out of this suit? Of course I do. I'm making weird science.
Roll act under pressure.
Come on, baby. I'm just gonna go ahead and
no.
use another luck point.
Oh my
because-
God.
shit.
Wow.
All right.
Burning through them.
So he's using another luck point to change his snake eyes into boxcars. So you push the third button on the keys, and the back drops out, and the airbag that you have built into the chest of this thing
Oh my god.
ejects you backwards out of the suit, and the suit still stands, lights blaring from it, and the back of it closes up. Jake.
That was one of my favorite things about Weird Science, was getting to decide like how his stuff worked if he didn't explain it. So it was always a fun game between the two of us of how the things worked and why they worked.
Oh, yeah. Weird Science with in TJ's hands was amazing. Just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna do this. How does it work? I don't know. The move is the move. It's just
Yeah.
it works.
Yep.
Jake.
Yep.
You feel like you're starting to suffocate. Roll act under pressure to try to get away from this thing.
Can I try to help out to rip him out of this when I see him just face planted there?
Yes.
Come on, baby. Oh, yeah. I certainly do with an 11.
That's a +1, so it gets me to a 10.
Excellent. So you put your hands and your feet up and you pull backwards, and it's like Jim Carrey taking off the mask. Like you just rip your face free and fall backwards, and this thing is still slashing at the suit. TJ, you have recovered from the ground. What do you want to do?
Pull out my nunchucks, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you.
So you're going to run up and use your nunchakus on this thing.
Yes.
Okay, roll to kick some ass.
Yeah. All the while, by the way, Thunder's been playing on a loop. That'll be a 7.
So you are going to exchange harm with this thing. You run up and swing at it with your nunchucks. How much damage do they do?
2 harm, hand area.
Area, nice.
And you take 3 harm.
Oh.
You can tell that the more damaged it gets, the more freely it uses what surface area it has remaining to try to fend off people attacking it. Previously, you saw a little section come off the hand and go into the suit. You saw spikes come out of the side. You actually see almost like a full head come off the shoulder and bite down on TJ's nunchuck arm. How are you doing, TJ?
I am not well. I am actually...
That just occurred to me.
So, what happens when my harm goes past, like, the line on the sheet here? It's like 1 past the line into where it says dying.
Oh, are the unstable?
Is that what happens when you get there? I'm
Yeah,
not
like
sure,
once you take,
actually.
what was it, 4 damage?
Yeah, on the 4th one, you are unstable and dying.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. Like, I mean, I understand
Why,
what
are
dying
you-
is, but
Are
I mean,
you...
unstable, like...
So what that means is that I just give you more damage randomly because you're bleeding out, essentially.
Oh,
Are
well,
you at that point?
Yeah.
Okay. Tess, as you pull Jake away from the creature, you see TJ run up and strike it with his nunchucks. A large head emerges from the creature's shoulder and clamps down on TJ. You see him wrench free and stagger back a few steps before collapsing to the ground, the shirt on his chest slowly turning to a deep scarlet red.
I don't have the correct outro on there. It doesn't have.
Yeah,
our
I
credits
was
in
like,
it.
I'm missing a Carol in there.
Odd. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, that's episode 2. A lot happened in episode 2 compared to what, like, if you told me that TJ made the light armor in episode 2, I was like, no way, that's got to be like 3 or 4.
Yeah,
But sure enough,
a lot
there's
happened.
still a lot of Halifax to go.
Yeah. Oh, so many failures this
Yeah.
episode. So
many
many.
failures to be had.
Gosh, there was Aaron says, TJ here for a good time, not a long time with his luck expenditure. 2 uses of luck in episode 2.
So yeah, I think at least for next week, we'll keep doing this on Saturday night. Thank you everybody for showing up. There may be a chance on a week in the future. We may have to do it on a Tuesday, or else we'll just skip a week. But it seems that Saturday night seems to be better for more people than a Tuesday night. Does anyone have any kind of last minute thoughts or questions about this? We will do episode 3 next week. I think while we're giving people the chance, you got any announcements?
I am just updating the schedule. 1 second. Yeah, actually, I do have an announcement that I can talk about while I'm typing. I don't think Kim is free next Saturday. I'm running a Founders game on Saturday, but it can be before 8 p.m. So yeah, I think we're still good to go.
Okay.
The season 3 Q&A of Coin is almost upon us. So please send in your questions about season 3. You can email them to us at thecastthecritshowpodcast.com, or you can use the contact us form on our website. Just get those questions in by July 2nd and we will answer them. And I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. Please send us all of your questions about season 3.
All of the questions. We want to answer everything. 1 second. Saturday, June. There we go. All right, and then upcoming streams. All right, so Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, join us for episode 5 of the Omniverse Chronicles Masks. We're going to pick right up with Landon's devastating cliffhanger, and I can't wait. Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, hang out with Rev and I as we're going to play something and hang out and wait for the episode to come out. Thursday, the 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern is going to be Mystery Detectives with Megan and myself. We're going to be doing part 2 of Nancy Drew, The Deadly Device. Costume theme is electricity. Last time Megan dressed as Pikachu and I dressed as the Bride of Frankenstein. We took that prompt in very different directions. And then Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, come hang out with us for another listen through of season 1, episode 3.
No, I am absolutely wrong. We will have to do episode 3 on Tuesday.
Why?
Because Saturday the 12th, I have to be present because the TV show I do has been nominated for an Emmy, and that's the night of the awards. So I'm going to be at an Emmy party. I totally forgot about that.
Rev casually forgot his Emmy nomination.
Yeah, that's on the 12th. I totally forgot.
Oh my God.
So yeah, we will have to do episode 3. We'll do that this Tuesday. And then we will there's a TV show. I do a local PBS show called Journey Indiana, and so we are up for a local Emmy. Let me make sure that is correct, but I'm almost positive it's the 12th. That just occurred to me.
And this isn't the first time that you've been nominated for a local Emmy. Are you
It's
now
not.
Are you now a 2-time Emmy nominee?
I am 2-time Emmy nominee.
Look at you.
Yeah, so yes, it is June the 12th. So yeah, we will do episode 3 in just a few days.
Never mind then. I'm reposting that schedule.
Yeah. But don't worry, we will capture the VOD of this and put it on our YouTube page for anybody who can't make it on Thursday. I know can't make it on Tuesday. I know Tuesday's not as great of a day as Saturday for a lot of people, so we will get it up there before we're able to do the next Saturday, because I think we'll have to do probably the next 2 weeks. I think we'll have to do Tuesday before we can get back to Saturdays.
Yeah, but
so
we will figure it out.
Yeah.
Let's see, some last questions. Mithril asks, what made you interested in potentially using Monster of the Week as your podcast game?
We just really liked the narrative style, and it was the first and only Powered by the Apocalypse game that we knew, and we kind of played it just we just kind of played it to test the equipment, and we enjoyed it so much that we changed the focus of the game last minute.
And then 2 questions that are kind of related. Chaotic asks, anything that didn't make the cutting room floor from these early episodes? And Aaron piggybacks on that, saying, about how much time do you think is cut from a typical episode?
Yeah, so a typical episode, I try to keep an eye on and record. We record about an hour and 15 minutes, and then what you get is somewhere between 35 and usually 55 minutes. There are not many episodes that go an hour. There's a couple. But generally, I would say that a fifth of what we record gets cut. And that's just table talk or silence or, really, it's mostly that. People, taking time to think about stuff. And then anything that was cut, I talked about this last week. Really the only thing that was cut was that we did record the first episode of this, and there was an issue with the audio that was consistent. So we went back and had to re-record the whole first episode. So I entirely changed the story. So that they wouldn't be playing through the exact same thing, because I didn't want it to be like, oh, we know what's going to happen, and so we're kind of not in the moment. And so all of it changed. The original thing that was going on here was that there was a set of brothers who were vaudeville performers, and one of them kind of got a contract to go off and do his own thing, and the other brother murdered him and buried him under the stage. And so that was the ghost that was here, was a ghost who was kind of using the various things around the theater to haunt and harm people. He was the brother that lived and then was not successful and eventually was killed by the ghost, was Shecky the Green Mile, who would paint himself in green paint, lay down on the stage, and roll around until he had rolled the distance of a mile.
It's performance art.
No wonder that his, the very first vaudeville performance artist.
So that means that you came up with all of the Soulbat stuff and also Rev's inclusion in that mystery, like really sort of on the fly.
Yes. So Rev was at the end of the first episode because they wrapped up the Halifax in the first go. And so originally the hook for the story was that they did the Halifax, and then they had a phone call from me on one of their phones. It was like, hey, could you guys come over? I need your help with something. And they showed up and the door was unlocked. They came in and I was sitting at a table with like headphones on in front of a microphone. And they're like, hey man, what's going up? And I just kind of nodded at them and I gestured to the table. And then they came over and they sat down and I gestured to the headphones and they put the headphones on and I leaned into the microphone. I'm like, so I've got a problem. I don't know how else to say this. Somebody killed me and I need you to figure out who. And that was the end of the episode. And so the kind of premise that I had for Rev was that he was a ghost that could only communicate to them through electronics, a la white noise. And so that was my involvement originally. But then it all changed.
It's so interesting just now looking at Rev, the character's role in the show as it goes on, as well as Soulbats as the show has gone on. That like both of those just sort of happened because you had an audio error the first time you recorded the episode is wild to me and very cool. Let's see. Josh says it's so nice that Rev deigns to hang out with us lowly non-Emmy nominated folk. I really appreciate you spending time with me, Rev, even though I have no Emmy nominations. Will there ever be an Earth Dawn campaign? I recall a long time ago, y'all mentioned playing it.
Yeah, there is one. It is on the Patreon feed, and Kim plays in it. And Josh, who is the line developer for Earth Dawn, runs it.
That was wonderful. The very first Critshow thing I ever recorded was that Earth Dawn game, so it's very dear to me. Closing out, Aaron the Red says somewhere in an alternate universe, later game Critshow gets real weird with the ghost brother from the original mystery. I guess that's the other side of the coin.
Yeah. Oh, Shecky.
Oh, Shecky. All right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with me, Rev.
Thank you for joining me. Thank you everybody for joining us. Like I said, we will be back on Tuesday.
Yes.
With episode 3. And I know that Tuesday again is not as great of a night for people as Saturday. So, come Wednesday, you will find episode 3 over at our over at our YouTube. And I think we're gonna have to do a couple Tuesdays, and then we may move back to Saturday if it seems like a better night for folks to hang out. So
yeah. But I'm really enjoying doing this. So
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
We're at least gonna get through the first arc, and then we'll see how
we'll get through the first arc, and then we'll see. We'll see if the novelty is worn off or if people still enjoy it and are showing up.
Yeah. All right, everyone. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And hopefully we'll see some of you Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern for Season 1, Episode 3. Have a good night.
Good night.